You are now tuned in to Freeing the Minds TV, home to mindful living, peace, love, and light.
Corner store. Welcome to the corner store.
Peace and love this beautiful and blessed morning. Peace and love to you. Welcome back to www.freeingtheminds.com. We are back live in effect, in full effect, alive in life, full in nature, loving the life we live and living the life that we love. Man, oh man, what a glorious day it is this morning. Glorious day this morning. What do you say? Where do you begin? Where does one day end and the next one begin? Blurred lines. Today's time is a lot of blurred lines. One of the things I wanted to really kind of touch on this morning is the importance of your everyday life, appreciating your everyday life, recognizing the value of your everyday life, recognizing what's happening in your everyday life. There's a great honor living a normal life. There is a great honor and peace of mind living a normal life. A normal life is honorable, so-called normal life. What we call so-called normal today is out of control. And what was normal yesterday often was considered boring. In search for more extravagant or vibrant, colorful ways of expressing oneself, but now it's led us to this where we're at today. So many layers of multiple confusion. Hard to get to the source and the heart of anything anymore. Hard to put your finger on something and determine its realism. A lot of these things aren't even real. A lot of illusions, false ideas, caked up imagery. And for what? Could be hits, could be attention, could be for a check. It's ultimately for the check. Whether it's the paycheck or someone just checking for you, or thousands of people checking for you. Your views, your hits, your likes, your ads, all that stuff. Leading into what goal? To what end? Where does it stop? What is the ultimate goal in this thing? How will you know when you achieved what you're searching for? What do you want out of it? So we see that we go many different places in the pursuit of our own happiness. Try many different things in efforts to attain some sense of self-gratification, worldly recognition. But what is it doing to us? What's it doing to our relationships? What's it doing to our value systems? What's it doing to our society, to our culture, to our children? Most are left in the rye to either wither away or figure it out. How to sustain, how to maintain, how to elevate what the next thing is, and ultimately to determine for their own self what truth is. And how do they determine what that truth is? How do they define that truth? What are the parameters? What are the sounding boards? Where are the examples and the reflections? Because if we look at it around and we look today, we see there's many ways, over 720 different ways of self-expression. I mean, it's way more than that, but just to confuse things a little bit more than the normal 360, you know what I mean? It's so many different ways of looking at things, so many different ways of approaching things. No one way is necessarily correct or right or more superior than the other, so to speak. Some ways you're better off going. Some ways you'll end up with more of a better off result. But to each his own. And the course towards the destination is for one's own self to determine, to define. And what that success is and what it looks like, that too is for one's own self to define and determine. However, we must keep a couple things in perspective, the reality of this life in perspective in the process of our determining what we deem ideal, what we deem our goals, what we want to achieve. And the first thing we must look at is the reality of what is normal. What exactly is normal? Well, look at it. You have the 1% and the 99, the rest of us, right? The 1% is the selective few that are rich, paid, living those lives that we see on TV, many of which many people aspire to, none of which is real, meaning universal for all, accessible for everyone. It's not under these conditions and not under these constraints. It's just not a reality. So we see that the majority are have-nots, and very few have in plethora. And then everyone else is somewhere in between the gamut. Don't have, but you don't have not. You're kind of there. Maybe $20 away from being homeless. Everybody is pretty much one illness away from being homeless. It's the healthcare system is out of control. A lot of things in the society are out of control. The care, the love, a lot of things are out of place. And that goes back to what we're saying. What is normal? What is a normal value? What is a normal heart? How do people normally feel? How do people normally treat each other? How do people normally engage and interact? A lot of times this is a very violent culture, man. A very anti-progressive culture. It's very regressive. It's very oppressive. It's very restricted and limited. Very prejudging. A lot of labels. A lot of false conversations. Not many being real with themselves even anymore. A lot of people looking for opportunities to come on, get on, set up somebody for their own benefit. I read somebody's Instagram the other day, or not Instagram, it was on roundabout away, 4th of July holiday situation stuff and all that. You know, you're getting people that you're interacting with you might not have seen in so many years and all this good stuff, right? And in the process of it, you might go on, add on that friend or connect with people, just reconnecting. In the process of reconnecting, you know how these social medias are aware of your connections, man, and what happens in your world. And they'll suggest things to you, suggest things, suggest people, suggest situations, suggest things. So it suggested this person. And I go on into their thread line and I was like, wow, this is like entering a social media STD, man. The stuff, the vulgarity, the things that were being said, the value systems, all of that stuff, man. It was like peeling back something and just seeing all the ugliness happening. And you just, man, put that back on. It's almost like opening up a dead body and seeing all the maggots moving around inside that cavern. It's like just nasty, man. It's nasty. I was like, yo, close that. Do not add that friend. Do not connect with that at all. This is a crazy thing because in the waking world, I know this person. In the real world, so-called real world, I know this person. Hung out with the person, hang out and chill, chopped it up, all that good stuff. And then I was like, yo, this is who you really are? Or this is what you're really putting on? Or this is your real intent under here? It was ugly. And that's when I was like, man. The thing that really struck me She said something like, damn, can't y'all save at least a baby daddy for me to have one? Can't you at least save a baby daddy for me to have a baby daddy? Not a man, not a husband, not a relationship, not a marriage, not nothing of long standing, long lasting, not even seeing it to the end. Just a baby daddy, aka a check. How much love is that child gonna get? How much focus is that child gonna get? How much energy is that child gonna get? How much elevation is that child gonna get? How much is that check is that child gonna get? Like, or is it gonna go to some fake hair? Like, what is weird world that we're in? And this is the norm. I'm meeting more and more, and I've seen and I've met way more people like that than I have met. Showing improving, living an honorable life. Now, I've met many people living an honorable life, but in my day-to-day interactions, my common interactions, moving throughout, orbiting through life, I see a lot of confusion. A whole lot of confusion. And me, myself, I don't engage in the confusion. I'll take a step back, slide off to the side, climb a mountain, go for a walk. I'm not involved, man. Pass through, maybe, but definitely not engaging. It's confusion. Where are the examples? Where are the adults? A lot of time I'm seeing a lot of the elders too, man. We got to have better examples out here. And I think that's ultimately one of the reasons I really try so hard, is because, man, I think about the examples that I had growing up. There were some, and then there were times where there were none. Or I had to look in my memory bank to remember the examples that I had before and think about their templates, use that as my blueprint to improve my own self. We've got to a point where the society doesn't even want to try anymore. A lot of these people don't want to try anymore. A lot of these men don't want to try anymore. A lot of these women don't even want to try anymore. A lot of these people just don't want to try anymore. They're just they're trying to get over. They're trying to get an advantage. They're trying to take advantage of someone else, something else. But putting in the work, dedicating oneself to once and seeing it through for the greater good of all concerned, is becoming a rare thing. Now just getting up and going to work, like even just the day-to-day jobs. People are slipping on the day-to-day jobs, sleeping on the day-to-day jobs, even jobs of importance, like emergency teams, bus drivers, all type of folks, man, dropping the ball. Teachers, law enforcement, government officials, everyone, no matter where you're at. ABC jobs, jobs of importance, jobs of non-importance, working for yourself, working for other people. I'm seeing folks drop the ball. Where's the value? Where is the self, like, in that what you're doing? Like, where does it reflect who you are? Like, where does it reflect your value system? Anything that you engage in, you should be putting your whole heart and soul into it. And look at it as it's your work. And this reflects who you are. And don't let no errors or no angles or no holes be in that thing. But clarity, purity, refinement, usefulness, preparedness, being ready for the world, being ready for whatever's at hand, what's coming, taking it on. But most importantly, creating a better situation, creating a better environment, creating something better for the next one up. There's going to come a point in time in life where we have to leave this world. And what will be our legacy? I mean, just for our own selves, just think about the elders that came across in your life. How many or how few, if any, helped you out, put you on, saw you through, all the way through, not just here, but saw you through, made sure that you stayed on and checked in with you. If you had a question, they were there, honestly and true-heartedly. But most importantly, how many showed and proved in their life the way of elevation, cookie cut their steps for your eyes to see or anybody's eyes to see. the path towards elevation, self-realization? Very few. Very few. And how many come from it from an honest place? Not seeking to get something out of it, not seeking for the, intellectual masturbation, not seeking for the people to give them applause and awards and all. Right. Okay, so the phone went out while we were out and about. So I do apologize about that. But as we can see, 1% live that rich and fancy, fanciful, imaginary lifestyle. The rest of us are not living that. However, of that rest of us, 99%, you have a lot that believe that 1% lifestyle is a reality. And that lifestyle is a reality for not necessarily, if not all of us, not necessarily it's a reality for all of us, but it's a possible reality for all of us. Another lie. Because to get there, you're going to have to, if it is a reality for all of us, to what degree do you have to compromise? To what degree do you have to compromise your soul, your spirit, your values, your dreams, your own personal aspirations, the things that you hold dear and the things that you hold true? To what degree would you be selling out the human race? Some people can't sell themselves out. Some people cannot sell the human race out. Some people are not wired this way. Some people are not built this way, myself being one of them. It's just not going to happen, man. Like, no. Some people are not built that way. This is why you see some of the homeless folks out there, because they were not built that way and they weren't willing to do that compromise. And in turn, it cost them. Sometimes by a person being true to their values, even true to the universal principle, the universal growth and development of all concerned. Sometimes those individuals become the biggest force as well as the biggest fear. Because you can't control them. You can't tell them what to do. You can't tell them, and you can't buy them out. So you're going to have to just shut them out. So oftentimes this happens. So I'm saying the reality is not a reality that everyone is necessarily able to attain. So it's not necessarily a reality for everyone. However, a lot of people believe that it's a possibility for everyone. That if you push hard enough, you work hard enough, if you go out here and you come up with the right idea, that it can happen for you. And maybe that might be true. But what happens if you come up with the right idea and you push it hard enough and you give it your whole life, but it still didn't happen? We have many of graves that are filled with holes like these, filled with souls like these, filled with lives, with dreams, many of which came unmanifested. The desire might have been there, the even drive may have been there, but the times may not have been right. The time might have been right, the drive might have been there, but something was missing. Maybe the times. For time is the ultimate healer, and at the same time, time. When conditions and circumstances are right for something to manifest, it manifests. And when the conditions are no longer opportune for that manifestation to remain, they decease or recede. We see this happening every season with the leaves and the trees, birds and the bees. The point of this whole reality is the majority of us are living average, normal lives that we are not necessarily comfortable with, happy with, satisfied with, because of the impulses, the imagination, and the tricks played on the mind by way of media, to desire more, to appear that you are less. When in reality you are who you are. You have all that you need. And with the right amount of support systems around you, you will go without want. Surrounding ourselves with like minds, like beings, like sources. Putting in the work, sowing the seeds, and tending to the soil. Surely their plot of land will be profitable. And if you do the same, surely yours will be. But you have to put in the work. Put in the time, plant the seeds, put them at the right depths. Keep tending that soil, nurturing your works. Staying at it. Be happy to get to that garden, because that garden is just not much different than the normal atmosphere. All it was just sacred, made set aside, set up for tilling. Set your life up for tilling. You set your life up sacred. Set aside. A place where you plant your own seeds into your own life, and you tend to those seeds within your own life, and you harvest and manifest the life that you want to create. Not the life that's on TV, not the life that's on Instagram, but the life that's in your mind, the life that's in your heart and your soul. Sometimes we have to search that out by experiencing the life that we don't want to realize the life that we do want. Sometimes we go far, we move away from our hometowns to move into the city, only to realize that we like and prefer the country, and vice versa. But the focus is we do the work, the leg work, the footwork, the thought work, the physical work, to create the life that we love. For one labors for that which one loves, and one loves that which for one labors. Make sure that you love and labor for a greater idea than you see for yourself now. Work towards the grand design. The grand design. How you see that. However you see that. But if you see it, and however you see it, it has to be seen from your clear self. A clear self. Your real values. Not in reflection or in to anybody else or in comparison to anybody else's life. But what makes you happy? Where do you find your most happy self? For me, it's in art. For me, it's walking nature. For me, it's even just watching things, watching life, man. Out on this morning walk, I saw a dog. And when I saw the dog, I saw my cat inside the dog. And it's just a feeling of love, deep appreciation, happiness, joy took over, rushed and flushed my whole body, had to put a smile on my face as I was walking, thinking about the dog. Life, man. Life inspires all life. Let your life be inspirational to others so that others can aspire to live the life that you live, that you set forth, the blueprints and the templates that you create. Set them firmly into your life so others that look upon you know exactly how to get there. At the very least, feel free and comfortable enough to come up to you and ask you how you got there. And you help them get there, man. But keep account. The majority of us all have normal lives, and there's a peace of mind to be found in normality. Not normal in today's terms. Normalize this craziness. No. Normal in a peace of mind. Getting up. Going to work. Working a meaningful job. For a meaningful reason. Coming home, working on your projects, creating your ideas, investing into your own self, into your own dreams. Spending time with family and friends and loved ones. Working on that idea. If you got a book, work on that book. If it's a film, work on that film. If it's whatever it is, fashion, a song, real estate, whatever it is, work on it. And if it's just a thought right now and it hasn't even become like an actual drive yet, an actual entrepreneurial program, business, pursuit, study the old way. Hit the library, grab the books, Take them home, read them, study them up. Set up a template for yourself week by week, chapter by chapter, working through each chapter and working with each chapter, analyzing it and putting it into your work and integrating it into your life, creating a better situation for yourself and for others down the road. But first, we must invest in ourselves, acknowledging where we're at, where we want to go, and start mapping out how we're going to get there. Keeping in mind the day-to-day activities, acknowledging the fact that, we may make it, we may not make it there, but it's about the journey, taking the efforts, making the steps. One may fall short of their journey along the journey in the path, or die in the process of the pursuit. That's honorable. But to not take the first step, to not take a step after that, you will never forgive yourself. So with that being said, worry not. Compare no longer. Think of others before you think of yourself. Consider and then act upon that. But move from a place of groundation, from a sense of universality, universal love, peace, understanding, and compassion. Let these be our keys and our tools moving forward. I wish you nothing but love and light this beautiful, bountiful, and blessed day. Thank you again for tuning in to Freeing the Minds. We will be right back with you. I hope you've been enjoying the Art of Peace series. We'll be doing a whole lot more of those. Thank you again for tuning in. Wish you nothing but love and light, peace and love. Have a beautiful and blessed day, y'all. We got a lot of rain on the way right now, so it's looking gray out there. But we've been getting a lot of sunshine, so. Plus, inside the heart and the mind, the sunshine never goes dull, man. Forever rain vibrantly. Thank you again for tuning in. Peace and love. Peace. Visit www.freeingtheminds.com for your unique original Freeing the Minds merchandise and apparel.